Good morning. Welcome to a brand new training series. Join me as I train for an autumn marathon PB. In today's video, I'm going to do a quick recap of last week's half marathon race, talk a little bit about what my aims and my goals are for this training block, ask for some opinions and advice around training plans and heart rate monitors, and give you a little bit of a sneak peek into an upcoming video on my marathon history. Okay, so part one, half marathon race debrief. I didn't get anywhere near my goal target time. I wanted about a 1:32, 1:33 and came in at a 1:39. No excuses, probably hadn't done enough in training to justify that kind of time, and despite the disappointment on the day, I don't mind having a bad race, because actually it kind of gives you a little bit of an impetus, to a little bit of fuel, shall we say, to go into the next training block knowing I need to do better. Ultimately, I need to run more. Ironic from someone that runs every day, but my volume, my weekly mileage is not enough to get away with a bad sort of training block. So that's the lesson mainly from that. Weekly mileage needs to increase, and consistency in that weekly mileage needs to increase. So what are the plans for this training block? Well, the race is earmarked for October, so I've got a nice summer ahead, and realistically, you know, I want to go for a PB. I haven't run a marathon since, I think it's like November or December of 22. So yeah, it's going to be a good 2 years almost, which is crazy, since my last actual marathon, and a PB would be anything under 3 hours 19. Now, what I might need some help with is the actual training plan itself. I am notoriously bad at sticking to them, and I'm really not sure what to go with. Whether I go back to 80-20 and Matt Fitzgerald, which I've used fairly successfully in the past, whether I use a training plan which is sort of downloaded by Coros and will adjust to my sort of threshold and my metrics as the training progresses, or if I go for something off the shelf. I'm up to my 8th kind of standalone marathon now, but I would say I am inexperienced when it comes to marathon training and successfully building for a marathon and using a marathon training plan. So any thoughts, advice or suggestions, drop them below. So currently I'm using a pre-downloaded one from Coros. It's their intermediate training plan. It's about 18 weeks long. The mileage is in the range that I think I'm capable of holding, around about sort of between 30 to 45 miles a week, between 50 to sort of 75 kilometers a week. That, I think, is sustainable for me with my current lifestyle and the time I've got to train. But it goes on heart rate, and that leads me into my next sort of question really, or concern, and that is that I've never really properly trained consistently with heart rate. Now, the run I'm doing today is about 9.5 kilometers at a predetermined heart rate, which I'm going to struggle to keep to because I'm stopping and starting, I'm on the trails. I'm not going to be overly concerned about that. But what I need to think about is actually, is the way I'm measuring my heart rate accurate enough? Using the wrist to measure it, or should I invest in the Coros armband, or just go for another sort of company's heart rate strap like a Garmin or a Polar or a Whoop? So I'm kind of in that sort of conversation with myself at the moment in terms of what to invest in order to accurately measure my heart rate if I use or continue to use this Coros training plan, which relies solely on heart rate as its measure for training zones and training intensity. And then there's my marathon history. So I spent a bit of time actually looking back through Strava, and I will do a full video on this, but I did my first sort of marathon distance in 2016 as part of an Ironman triathlon, and then since then I've covered that distance from a racing perspective 7 more times, so 8 times in total I think. And then I've done a few ultras and stuff as well, so obviously that would capture the marathon, but wasn't training specifically for it. So I've definitely got the experience, but like I said at the start, I don't think I've got the training experience. I haven't done enough kind of marathon training blocks consistently to kind of really know possibly what my body is capable of doing. And that is the purpose of this next training series and building towards that marathon in October. What I would like to do is go through a little breakdown of kind of each of the standalone marathons that I've done and the progress over time. So I think my slowest standalone is a 4 hour 57, and then my fastest is a 3 hour 19. So there has been good progress over the 8 years, but I feel that progress is tapering. It's a lot harder now to make significant kind of inroads into the times that I'm running, which could be an age thing, could be my ability, but it could also be the approach that I take to training. So all of those things need to be considered. I'm about halfway through today's run, which is 9.5k at the kind of intended heart rate, which I'm nowhere near hitting. I'm a bit tired. Legoland yesterday, and got the post-race cold that always sort of seems to hit you after you've done a big sort of session, and that's kind of it really. So I'm going to get some nice shots as the sun's come out and tag them onto different aspects of this video to make it look a little bit more appealing and cinematic. And I thank you as always for watching. I appreciate you stopping by and checking the video out, and look forward to hearing from you, hopefully in the comments below, with your thoughts, advice and tips. And we'll see you in a new video very, very soon. All right, happy running. Take care.